Welcome to the DSQ podcast with Blake Lawson and Dakota Reynolds.
Our usual intro joke has been suspended by the FIA for foul language, so we will not be doing a special intro joke this week.
That's very, very funky.
Yeah. Honestly, it's kind of a real shoddy kind of thing to do, but whatever, I guess.
Anyways, we'll have a actual intro joke for y'all outside.
Yep. That's the other podcast outside. It is raining, but it's worth it. So the entire podcast will be one-word answers. So Singapore.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Okay.
Welcome to Singapore.
Marina Bay.
Marina Bay. It's like I said last time. It's the less fun Baku.
Boy, was it kind of less fun. I'll be honest. It definitely felt less fun.
I slept through most of it.
I think I was the only one who was awake for at least 99% of it.
I may have been awake for I was very in and out for the first half, and then after about lap 23, I just out until the end.
It's like, Alex was out, so you're like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, I think the last thing that I had was that one, because we'll get to that. That's the last thing that I wrote down, and then everything else after that is stuff that I wrote after rewatching it.
I was like, I didn't even write that one down and the hint didn't end up being that consequential. So
it didn't really happen. I've been very eepy.
Really do.
Like we said last week, Saturday was spent at sports game because sports. It was fun. I had a great time, and it was fantastic. It's not F1 though, so it's not the purpose of this podcast. So we can gloss right over that.
Which I think is the only reason the intro wasn't just Rocky Top.
Yeah. I was very sleepy because of that, though. I was very exhausted, very socially exhausted. So what did I do? I stayed up and watched 2 of the Alien vs. Predator movies. Well, both of the Alien vs. Predator movies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I slept.
I should have slept. I did not. I stayed up. I watched those, and then I got in here and passed in and out of consciousness for the next 2 hours.
Well, let's get into it. So Singapore, a lot of liveries. New, well, one less than we thought we were going to get. Red Bull.
Red Bull decided, we need to save as much weight as we can get.
So canceling the special fan-made liveries for both here and then not next week, but 4 weeks from now in Austin. So no fan liveries for RB, or for Red Bull, excuse me.
Yeah, no, don't get those two teams twisted. Heaven forbid.
Yeah, if only they were so similar. Anyway. But RB did have a special livery. Hey, do you like jeans?
I still think this is the stupidest thing that I've ever seen. And that's on top of the old, 2000s, 2010s Superman costumes by Red Bull. Jeans?
It was just stupid enough to be awesome to me. And then, so do you follow RB on Insta?
I don't.
So they post a garage playlist. And it's usually one by Yuki, one by Daniel, and then potentially last race Daniel Ricciardo. And then it's usually fan stuff. So it was all jeans. So it was either about denim or jeans or blue jeans or buy new jeans or so. Really rolling with it this week. Yeah.
What a bunch of goofy goobers.
Listen, it's fun. It's different. I like it.
I mean, it's different, sure. I wasn't a fan of it, but, is what it is.
But also McLaren having a minor little livery change. Just a
small livery, but
just what's white? Some white.
But pretty dope. I liked it. Nice little splash of difference.
And then another kind of minor one was Mercedes, just a little bit of the Patronus blue.
I didn't notice that one. But I guess I also wasn't paying attention and/or wasn't awake for it, so.
Yeah, just a little, just no silver basically on the top. They just replaced all the silver with blue, basically.
Okay.
I was like, side by side, you could tell the difference, but like if I was just like glancing over real quick, I'm like, is that a Aston? No, it's a Mercedes. Okay. I was like, side by side, obviously, it's very different. Yeah, that was your special liveries for Singapore, and that was the only special thing about this race. Well, that's confirmed.
Yeah.
We don't do rumors here.
Yeah, no, we don't do rumors.
And between last episode and this episode, we did not go over any kind of like order or anything of upgrades or stuff. So I don't know what order you want to go in with all that. Again, we'll work it out over the autumn break we have now for 4 weeks.
Yeah, we can go into upgrades real quick. Wasn't a whole lot.
Upgrades kind of work together, so
Wasn't a whole lot of upgrades for the vehicles this week. All teams did bring something, at least circuit specific or minor, with the exception of Sauber, Haas, and Mercedes. Most extensive thing came from Williams, which we knew was coming. They've talked about them for a couple of weeks. I think from what I heard or what I read, that only Alex had the upgrades this week, which, boy, does that suck. We'll get to that later. And that's pretty much it for the upgrades. I was like, they just had a minor, like, little arrow upgrade to, I say minor, they considered it major, but the minor arrow upgrade. Power units, Pierre Gasly takes a new exhaust system. That's it. Restricted number components, Ocon and Albon both took new full gearboxes. Of note, this is Alex's 5th of 5 of both components, so next ones that he takes of either is a grid penalty. And then that's just for the non-audio portion of this podcast. I was like, you can absolutely cut that section of it out.
Nah, leave the 20 seconds of silence
20
while I try to read
seconds of
the
silence.
cross out.
God. Anyways, that's all I've got for upgrades.
And honestly, I'm like, we're definitely expecting this one. I might have a little bit here at the end to extend the episode length. Like you said, it's Baku, but not fun.
It's Baku, but shit.
It's burger, but cold.
Oh, I've got to go do community service now.
Oh, yeah. You fucked it up now, shit. FP1, FP2, FP3, we'll kind of just lump it all together, the free practices. And really just minor stuff. Colapinto accidentally goes through the Alpine mechanics. So just one garage too soon, just let him through, whatever. First time someone who actually wanted to join Alpine in the history, I guess. Yuki is learning sarcasm, so good for Yuki.
Yippee!
Progress. George, once again, showing he loves the walls in FP2.
I was going to say, he must be taking lessons from George, and I'll bring that up later.
And then just some minor walls. Just some minor touching the walls with some more George, Alex, Franco. Of course, our favorite driver of Singapore, Godzilla, did make his return in FP3. Hauled ass away from those marshals.
Yeah,
Marshals.
Apparently, oh god, Apollo from work. So he sent me a thing that he saw on Twitter. Apparently the Formula One account added the timing thing to the lizard. They gave him to Williams too.
Yep, Godzilla back. Only time I saw him at all weekend, so which I think is a good thing, keeping the wildlife off the track so they don't get hurt.
Yes.
Yeah. So just some practices, learning, walls. To foreshadow, I guess. No rookie drivers in FP1. Just some practice, just getting used to back to Singapore. And the original night races, they very, very much hit home this week.
Oh yeah,
they're like, this is the original night race. So I'm like, okay, we firing some shots. So we firing some shots at the other night races.
I guess, I don't know. I was like, Bahrain's okay. It almost killed Grosjean, but other than that, it's okay. Las Vegas is new.
Almost killed Carlos, but it's okay. Saudi almost killed Mick Schumacher, but it's okay.
Singapore probably almost killed a lot of people with the Singapore sling, but it's okay.
So. All right, qualifying. If you're ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, not a whole lot. Like, it was a fairly standard qualifying, to me, at least. I mean, both your Saubers are out Q1, Lance is out, Pierre is out. Daniel Ricciardo out first one.
Might be his last race.
Yep. That sucks for him. I know Drivers here. Q2, I guess the biggest one is Checo, but is that, I mean, given how Checo's performance, is it, you know?
I mean, it is a street circuit.
It is a street circuit that he does do well at. Both the Williams out in Q2, disappointed. Franco really taking it hard, like, but it's your like third race, man, and it's Williams. Like,
it's your third race. Wasn't he something like a few thousandths off of him? And he didn't even have the upgrade package. But you're doing great.
So you've outscored Logan by like 4 times in a 10th, 20th of the races. Like, and well, I was like, there's not a seat for you next year, but who knows? At this point,
you might. I mean, there's a couple of spots that looking like they might be open.
Yeah, and then Esteban K-Mag. I don't know if I said that. I did. I think I said K-Mag. I didn't say Esteban, but yeah. Anyway, the usual suspects. Hulkenberg. I guess your kind of odd ones in your top 10 are Nico, even though again he's been kind of doing that for a while now, and Yuki. We'll get to Yuki. We'll get to racing bulls, whatever. V-Carb, Toro Rosso, AlphaTauri, Minardi, whatever. Now Q3 is where it actually happens. How about that? I mean, signs.
Signs, no. Charles, no. What? I'm right here. Sorry,
right.
Force of habit. Signs, no.
So Q3, Oscar gets his good lap in. Then right in the distance, classic I pulled up in a new Bugatti meme style, you just see Carlos fucking lose it into the final corner. I don't have to, I mean, he did not have to break any parc fermé to get any car replacements done, so not too bad, but did red flag the session, basically made it a 1-lap shootout for most people. Charles. Sorry. Yeah, that's it. Everybody came on the 1-lap shootout. I did not put what Carlos's or what Charles's was, I guess. So I guess while that all is happening, there is Max who gets a pole lap, like a butt, and controversial maybe? I don't know. Like on the onboards. Anyway, the lap was deleted. I'm bearing a lead here for no reason. Max's lap gets deleted because of finishing under double waved yellows. But like he was kind of already past the incident. Like the yellow flags weren't out yet. It was green in front of him. Like, so it's a little weird, but I don't think Max really cares at this point.
I think it depends on the yellows because don't let me fucking feed wrong information. Do your own research. I'll have to do my own after this. But I'm pretty sure it's like if it's single, it's just that sector that is like, hey, none of these count. And if it's double, that entire sector. So instead of the mini sector, the entire sector gets, hey, if you're on here, you've got to kill your lap and it doesn't count. But what do I know? I'm just an American.
And with that, Sainz did the thing that drivers keep doing, which is crossing the active raceway or the track. And so he gets a €25,000 fine, 12,500 euro that will be suspended if he doesn't do it again the remaining 4 races. 7 races.
Nice to know that stakes cost a little less in Singapore.
Yeah. They don't. Yeah, it's because once the cow dies, it kind of just cooks because of how hot it is.
God.
It's instantly sous vide. Just hot and humid. It's just like, oh, it's ready. Okay. Also, the restart. Fernando had an unsafe release. I didn't see anything about that actually come across. So maybe he got a fine for it. I don't know. I didn't see it. And then we go back to our normal. Lando Norris, your pole sitter. Max P2, Lewis P3. I don't know what's up with, like, Mercedes is so inconsistent either way from both your practices to your qualities to your GP. Like, it's just all over the place, and I don't know what to think anymore.
I think they're just rolling a D20 for them.
Yeah, well, didn't roll as high on the actual GP check. So just on your quality skill check. Thank you, dog, for making a loud noise. Running out Yuki P8, awesome, pretty good. Happy for you. Charles, of course, P9 after a lap deletion, as well for track limits. Sucks. Matt was definitely unhappy. Sorry, Matt.
Say Levy.
Yep. And then once we get to, it's the GP, it's Singapore. Not much, and minus, crashing or mechanical failures. Not a whole lot of position changes.
Yeah.
So, hey, Lando Norris fans, did not bottle it first lap.
Yippee!
So, that's improvement for Lando.
Great start from him.
Yuki not having a good start, but I still don't blame Yuki for his positioning. Again, we'll get to that.
Alex got really mad about Franco dive bombing him.
I didn't see that.
I didn't pay attention to it, but also that is literally just a Singapore move.
Yeah.
Like, that is literally something that everyone will fucking do there. Ask me how I know. I've done it in the games.
Yeah, it's all outside dive bombs. That's why Oscar did so well.
But yeah, no, he got really mad about that, and I don't know why. Maybe just tempers flared. He's hot. He's annoyed.
Not the only thing that was hot. Or overheating.
Shut up!
So lap 13, Alex pits for his second time, and it's a retirement. Not sure, don't think we ever heard for sure if it was a tear off in a duct or just overheating or coolant problem, but overheating, retired on lap 13, 15?
I have 17.
I have lap 15.
I was also half awake when I wrote this, so
that sucks. I said that was a new gearbox too, right? So
yeah, new gearbox. He had the upgrades.
Might be having to take that penalty. We got 4
well,
weeks to
the
figure it
gearbox
out.
is separate from the power unit. So, I mean, it's power unit, that's one thing. But the gearbox, that's what would have to be replaced if he were going to be taking a penalty for that.
If you took a new one, I guess. I don't know if he has. Does he have any old ones left?
Fuck if I know.
Besides the one I guess they just took out. I was like, I don't think the Australian one's working.
He's at least permanently down one.
Yep. And now I'm going to get to my Yuki rant. Pitting him on lap 33 for softs. Not a good call for that point in the race. Absolutely alpha call, RB. I blame you for the 12th place. I believe you finished. Yeah, bad strategy. Unhappy. You'll be hearing from me personally here at some point. In
2 minutes. I'm outside your building.
Yep. Actually, we're recording outside. We are in northern Italy right now. We're waiting for Lawrence's plane to land. My notes are a mess. Hold on.
I have that at one point, Piastri's engineer reminded him that he's in a race. And I don't remember what the exact wording was. Again, I was half asleep, but I do distinctly remember him saying something to the effect of that this is a race.
I don't remember that, so I'll take your word for it. I believe you.
It would have been between 17 and 30, somewhere in there. I don't know.
Gotcha. Nothing much until kind of the end. Lap 63, I think is what my handwriting looks like it says. K-Mag.
As it would be 53. There were only 62 laps in the
Okay,
race.
so that is interesting. By the way, if you hear thunder, there's a storm going on. I couldn't tell if that was thunder or not. But...
That was not thunder. That was the new boy fucking hitting the table over here.
Oh, okay. Okay. There's a kitten with a toy directly under our recording our microphone stand setup thing. Yeah. So K-Mag retires. Had some problems earlier. Kind of sucks. Had the fastest lap from Lando Norris. Got it deleted for track limits. So, which
Sucks.
leads into Daniel Ricciardo.
Some say this might be his last race.
So he pits, and let's remember last week at Baku, basically they forgot he existed and pit him.
Yeah.
So they bring him in on some softs, and he sets the track record.
Yeah, not
track
just
record.
the fastest lap, the track record.
So that pips a point from McLaren and gives Daniel some bragging rights for whatever reason.
I mean, hey, maybe they'll change up the layout of the track next year, and he'll just retain that till the end of time. Who knows?
So, kind of finished. That's it. We'll go down the rundown, but race basically over. First Singapore race in history to not have a VSC or a SC.
I mean, we were going to break one of two things this week.
Yep.
It was either going to be that, or it was going to be our streak of not having safety cars. So the not having safety cars won. Bert Mylander is getting paid a lot to take a lap around the track.
Yep. It was funny. So after the race, I quickly photoshopped a missing poster since last seen Montreal, and I was like, "Oh, I'll submit it to the P1, funniest tweets thing." Fucking Tommy just tweets it in plain text after I made it. I'm like, fuck. And then I was asleep by the time the actual submissions were up. I was like, fuck. Oh, sorry.
Community service.
Community service.
I just put whenever I was listening or whenever I was watching the race on the watch back, there was a funny moment towards the end where George comes over the radio and goes, "I have understeer and I have oversteer." And I'm like, I love sarcastic sounding George. He is fantastic. That and the I need some encouragement.
Yeah.
George needing to be called a good boy.
Go George, go. Woo. Yeah, so that does make 9 in a row. I don't know. Okay. 9 in a row without a safety car. Also, 8th place and below all lapped. So very high lappage. Points were lapped. Well, that's when your top 3 are all separated by basically a minute.
Yeah. It's like Max Verstappen levels of separation. Max Lewis and Charles.
Yeah, well, even Lando to Max to Oscar was all 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then even from there, it's further. Yeah, it's insane. So, yep, that is it for the race. And maybe for Daniel Ricciardo. We don't want to... So, we've been... Obviously, there's kind of some running jokes we're doing through this entire thing. We don't do any rumors. Nothing's confirmed. And I refuse to do anything until it's confirmed. But yeah, that was the Singapore race. How did everybody end up?
How did everybody end up? Well, we can do the rundown, which I distinctly did not do last week. I realized, immediately after we wrapped recording, it's like, we didn't do the rundown. But that's fine, is what it is. But we can do this one for Singapore. So, the Singapore Grand Prix, Lando Norris is your victor. Started P1, finished P1, no change.
No, his name's Lando. I'm leaving the silence in. I want them to hear the daggers.
Second place goes to Max Verstappen, who also didn't change position. Third place goes to Oscar Piastri, who gained 2 places. George Russell finished P4, did not change. Charles Leclerc finished P5, gained 4 positions in this race. Lewis Hamilton finished P6, lost 3 positions. Carlos, really bad pit strategy for Lewis as well. Like, really bad. P7 was Carlos Sainz, who gained 3 positions. Everyone from this point on lapped down, like you said. Fernando Alonso lost a position to finish P8. Nico Hülkenberg lost 3 positions to finish P9. Started P6. Nico Hülkenberg. Get this man a podium, please. Sergio Checo Perez finished P10, rounding up the top 10 and points-paying positions. Gained 3 positions from the start. Going into the non-points positions, P11 was Franco Colapinto, finished P11, gained 1 spot. P12 was Yuki Tsunoda, lost 4 places. Esteban Ocon finished P13 and gained 2 spots. Lance Stroll finished P14 and gained 3 positions. P15 was Zhou Guanyu, finished there and gained 5 positions. Valtteri Bottas gained 3 positions to finish P16. Pierre Gasly finished P17 and gained 1 spot. Daniel Ricciardo, this might be his last race, finished P18 and lost 2 places. Kevin Magnussen lost 5 positions. Did not finish but classified P19. He was like 5 laps down. And to round out the race, Alex Albon, 9 positions down from his start, did not finish, but resulted P20. That's the rundown. Awards? Awards. So, the statistical side of things, I'm not even going to bother going back and trying to correct that. Your driver of the day, I didn't vote. I was asleep.
You were asleep.
I was asleep. I didn't vote.
Just got out of the way, I voted for Max Verstappen because I just figured it'd be a fight for Lando, so I voted for Max. I hedged my bets.
Very fair. Winner driver of the day, Daniel Ricciardo. That might have been his final race. The rundown was that he had 20.1% of the vote. Lando Norris, 17.8% of the vote. Charles Leclerc, 13.6%. Franco Colapinto at 8.7%. Everyone loves Franco, and I love that. Oscar Piastri at 8% of the vote. Everyone else getting 31.8%.
So I was the only one who voted for Max. Okay,
you were the only person who voted for Max Verstappen.
I thought it'd be funny, just because, FIA, here's our poster boy for the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you didn't have, we'll get to that. Fastest lap, Daniel Ricciardo. Might be his last race. 1:34.486, the new track record on lap 60. His lap 60. It was like lap 61, 2,
yeah,
etc.
Been a lap down, yeah.
So yeah.
So yep, about I do have that note. Just under half a second.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, unless I wrote the number down wrong, but I don't think I did.
Fair enough. Too late to go back and check it now, so.
I've said it to a microphone and posted on the internet. It is fact.
Well, I mean, it's already been changed on the website, so that's like, you can't go back and check the previous records. So.
Oh, no, I meant from Lando's time.
Oh, from Lando's time. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, about half a second off Lando's time.
Gotcha. Fastest pit stop went to McLaren, specifically Lando Norris. They had a 2.11 second stop on lap 30. Meanwhile, your slowest pit stop went to Alpine, specifically Pierre Gasly, with a 4.92 second stop on lap 37. Funnily enough, the fastest pit stop going to the fastest car, and the slowest pit stop going to arguably one of the slowest cars.
Traditions.
On to Stars? How are they doing?
They won yesterday in
Yippee.
preseason. They beat St. Louis.
Let's go.
Obi, suck it.
On to the actual Stars.
Mutual friend, internet friend of ours, who's a St. Louis Blues fan. I have 2 teams because I cheated this week.
Okay.
Yeah, we go and go.
Yeah, go for it. I feel like it's tradition to have you go first.
Yeah, we can switch off, but yeah. Okay. My third star is actually because, they did okay. It's Sauber. Because of course, Zhou up 5, Valtteri up 3. Some good teamwork there as well. So, that's a good result for Sauber.
I mean, honestly, yeah. I was like, given what they qualified, that's honestly a really good finish for them.
Some credit, a little bit of credit. They did some good this week.
Hell yeah. My third star went to Nico Hülkenberg. It feels weird giving a star to someone who lost positions in the race, especially like 3 places, but Nico still qualified 6th on Saturday and finished in the points. And even if he dropped 8 places, of course I'm giving a star to the driver who knocked Lance Stroll out of the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship. We'll get to that in a second, but I'm very happy about that.
I was going to say, not that we ever like debate our star choices. I was like, at what point is like, okay, we've proven Nico can outperform the Haas. I was like, at what point is it just being a Haas not enough? As I was like, well, okay, Nico, you've proven that you can do well in this car. But I guess it is still a Haas.
It's still a Haas, and it also depends on the track. He may not be as good at street circuits, but also qualified P6.
My second star, as I cover up beyond, is, again, my other team star, Ferrari. Inconsistent for the first couple days, but Sainz up 3, Charles up 4. Keep wanting to say Checo.
Not yet, anyways.
Just good result. Helps in their outside-ish chance for constructors. It still can happen. So when they have these kind of inconsistent weekends, I know Charles was very unhappy with the car. Still get some places, get some points. I said Viva Ferrari. That's 2 different countries.
Forza.
That's a video game.
My my number 2 was also a Ferrari, but it was a specific one. Charles Leclerc. He goes to take 4 positions in this race at great pace throughout the race, even though, Ferrari car, Ferrari strategy. Great pace. Fought through all the Ferrari bullshit again today. Mostly just poor information giving skills. Happens. It's Ferrari. And he gained valuable points for his Drivers' Championship battle and the Ferrari Constructor battle. So, good job. Good soup.
Wow. That's such an old meme.
It is, but we're old.
We are old. Number 1 star is Daniel Ricciardo. Because it was a good lap. I know he finished at the back of the grid, and it seems weird to give someone who lost spots and is dead last of the finishers. But it was a good quickest lap, and also it might be his last race.
All right. My number 1 star goes to Lando Norris. An absolute show of dominance by Lando today, finished by a Verstappen
Walking
margin.
out of the studio.
What was that?
And I'm walking out of the studio.
I mean, again, show of dominance. Finished by a Verstappen margin. After brushing along, getting like a little boo-boo on the wing. It's fine. It doesn't really matter that much. They did say that there was minor damage to the wing, but they said it wasn't that bad. So there was something, and he still finished like 20 seconds up the road. So, yeah, closes the gap to Max ever so slightly more. Wonderful job. Yeah.
Daniel Ricciardo.
I do have a few honorable mentions. Joe Gon Yu, who gained 5 places today, although, only 3 on merit, but still 5 places. Fantastic. Lance Stroll, who I don't think I heard his name or his voice after the starting grid by Crofty. So, super quiet race for him.
That's a win.
That is a win. And he gained 3 spots. I think that's what I wrote down, if that's correct. Yes,
right.
He gained 3 places. Franco Colapinto came extremely close to points again this race. Finished extremely close behind Albon in qualifying. Fantastic kid. This is his 3rd F1 race. Number 3. Get this kid in a Ferrari. And finally, Daniel Ricciardo, who may have raced his last race, set the fastest lap ever on the Singapore street circuit to possibly cap off his career in his final race before he leaves F1. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, as we have to.
Fucking... Okay.
We did manage to fill 35 minutes, by the way.
That's wonderful.
Somehow.
We mentioned this slightly earlier, is like we are definitely in the aspect of, we don't really do rumors here. We're not really the rumor type. We want factual information before we put that out there. Literally every time that Daniel was mentioned this race, and maybe this weekend, I'm not sure, but every time they mentioned him during the race, it was capped off with some form of, yeah, he might not be racing after this race. I literally, other than the generic information that, oh, well, they're trying to make a decision on whether or not to keep him, this, that, and the other, I had not heard any specific thing about, oh, yeah, no, he's definitely not going to be here after this race.
We have such a... One of our biggest pet peeves, gear grinding, is false and or irresponsible F1 journalism. And I think this weekend was an abhorrent example of this. Of okay, we had Ralph Schumacher say something. Now he's a Sky. Of course, we watch the international feed, so the Sky feed for English. Definitely, backing up their boy, I guess. But it was still everywhere. It was nonstop.
To the point you've got Crofty and them saying it in the middle of the race. That's completely irresponsible.
Yeah, and I get, and yes, now when it is this widespread, it's okay, surely someone would have corrected and came out with it if it wasn't true. I guess that's a point, but is this how we want someone who we respect to go out?
Yeah. This is the kid who had a Red Bull seat at one point and who excelled in that Red Bull seat for quite some time, only being overshadowed by literal generational prodigy Max Verstappen.
Yeah, and earlier this season I was I don't given performance, I was I don't see Daniel taking Checo's seat. I don't think it should be Daniel's seat. So I don't know how we got from, oh hey, Daniel's gonna take over for Checo at the summer break, to, yeah, he's done. He's just gone. Bye. What? I get the performance isn't there necessarily for the upstep, but I get the whole, it's probably Liam Lawson and his contracts and all that. But this, I don't know, this seems like just such a disrespectful weekend for Daniel that he does not deserve.
And what would be even more disrespectful is if it is true and you are going to take him out after this race, what's that next race that's on that board right there?
Well, it's in 26 days, and it is the USGP. That is a coach.
That is Daniel Ricciardo's race.
It is his home race.
Everyone loves him here, and he loves it here. That is his race, and you're going to make him not be there for it? I get, we got contractual obligations. We got money that we got to make for these sponsors and whatever. Fucking give the guy one more race for the one race that matters to him. This is like taking Charles out before the Monaco Grand Prix.
Yeah.
This whole weekend has put a sour taste in my mouth for the way that Daniel Ricciardo has been talked about. And it's infuriating. I don't have much to fill time for, but
yeah.
Okay.
I was looking up, because with his injury, I couldn't remember if Daniel raced Dakota. He did. Also, that I don't remember talking about this. That was Logan Sargent's first point because of the DSQs. thought it was Vegas for some reason. But no. Like I said, this is it's not just I'm pushing it on the media more because the media is the media. It's the forefront, the people putting it out there. Where's your PR team, V-Carb? Why are you not on top of this? Why are you just letting it go?
Oh, don't worry. The head of Red Bull's PR team basically has spent the last week shadowing Daniel Ricciardo, like on his ass all weekend.
And I was like, what's the other alternative here? They drop Checo after the Mexican Grand Prix, and they put Daniel in. Why take him out? Like, why have a driver get cold just to put him back in on the senior quote team?
Yeah.
Like, this whole thing doesn't make any kind of fucking sense. Yeah. Daniel, you deserve better. So.
We love you.
We do.
Yeah. I've got battles is the only other thing that I've got, so everything else has already been.
I was like, my other last thing is kind of not tied to the GP, so.
Yeah. So we'll blitz through that then real quick. Battles. We did have one singular change in the battlegrounds this weekend. So we still have Max and Lando duking it out at the very top. Max with 331 points, Lando at 279, so he has 52 points down. There's a stat in there that was like if Lando won every race and got the fastest lap and Max got second every race, then he would still end up winning against Lando, but
which is why that 1 point that Daniel took might actually be the difference.
Might matter. You got Charles, who's 34 points down from Lando, Oscar, who's 8 points down from Charles, who is doing better than Charles in the races, so that might be him up in third here soon. Carlos, 47 points down from Oscar, Lewis, 16 points down from Carlos, George, 19 points down from Lewis, and Sergio Perez in P8 is 11 points down from George. However, he is out of the race for P1 for the Drivers' Championship. He can no longer make it. The cutoff points are 151. He has 144. George is very close to that cutoff. He is at 155. So he is 4 points up from the cutoff. That's all for the top 8. The top 8 are basically just fighting each other except for Oscar and Carlos because there's such a point difference there. I feel like it doesn't really matter unless Oscar DSQs or DNFs, excuse me. Name of the podcast, got to throw it out there. Of note in the rest, Nico Hulkenberg's 2 points does bump him up from being tied with Yuki to being tied with Lance. However, he does kick him out of the top 10 because he does win on countback. So Nico is tied with Lance at 24 points, 38 points back from P9, who once again I did not write down because I guess I thought it didn't matter. But that's fine. I think it's Fernando. It's definitely Fernando. Yeah, it's definitely Fernando. Okay. But yeah, those two swap places, and Yuki is still at 22 points, 2 points down from Lance, unfortunately. For the team battles, I actually have enough space to do P1 through 10 on this one, but it is still very much the same. Aston Martin is out of the race for P1, them and down, so it's just the top 4, which are McLaren, who are sitting at 516, ahead of Red Bull, who are sitting at 475, or 41 points down from McLaren. Ferrari, who are at 441, who are 34 points down from Red Bull. And Mercedes, who are 112 points down at 329. Do you want to know what the gap is between Aston Martin and Mercedes?
I'm going to go with a lot, Alex.
It is 243. There is
That's quite large.
There is more of a gap than Aston Martin has points. It is
Nice.
sad. But yeah, everyone else is Toro Rosso's 52 points down from Aston. Haas is 3 points down from Toro Rosso. Williams is 15 down from Haas. Alpine is 3 down from Williams. And Sauber is still at 0, 13 points down from Alpine. That's it.
Oof.
That is pretty much all that I have, other than some ramble stuff at the end.
Gotcha. I just looked at your notes and it says Ramble Zone.
Yeah.
Not related to the Adventure Zone from the McElroy brothers. Please don't say this. Unless you want to sponsor us. We have to mention one other podcast every episode, right?
Gotta happen.
We didn't mention Steve. Oh, there we did. Anyway. My other little note is my actual driver of the day is the Lizard. So,
the Lizard. 16-second lap.
Yep. Pretty good.
Put
Daniel
to shame.
Lizcardo, yeah. So I don't know. Does your rambly stuff count more towards general, or is it more GP related?
I mean, it's both things that are related to this GP, but it's not at all related to the GP itself.
Okay. What I wanted to do, I was kind of curious about this, so I figured I'd go into the detail on it. Is the junior or the rookie drivers, the FP1 drives. So let's get into it, or not. I don't care. You can listen. You don't have to. I understand. So the rule is every driver must sit out at least one FP1 session for a rookie driver. Now the FIA understands that driver changes happen in the season, so it is also then per car. So we'll get into that here in a second. RB has one rookie so far, Iwasa, in the Japanese Grand Prix, sitting in for Yuki. So Yuki's done his for the season. So Daniel will still have to do his, I guess. And speaking of that, let's say this is all turns out to be just speculation, and we put Daniel Ricciardo through the worst weekend of his fucking life for no reason. Liam would not count as a rookie because he raced 5 last season, so RB would have to have another reserve driver up. So Daniel Ricciardo's car still has to have a junior in it. Alpine is good. Esteban sat out in Canada. Gasly sat out in Silverstone for Jack. So they are all good. Red Bull, Checo sat out for Isaac Hadjar in Silverstone. So Max will still have to sit out. Logan sat out for this Franco Colapinto guy in Silverstone. So Colapinto does not have to sit out. Alex will still have to do one. So I guess I'll bring up another Williams Jr. for that or something. I don't know. I'm going to skip them for a second. Sauber, this was at Zandvoort.
Oh, I can see why.
Yeah. Bottas sat out for Robert Schwartzman. So he is good there. Joe will have to sit out one. And Mercedes, of course, in Monza, George Russell sat out for Andrea Kimi Antonelli. And he said thank you by wrecking the car in his third lap. So Lewis Hamilton will have to sit out one at least. Let's get to Haas. All right, so again, let's talk about the rule real fast. Just a quick little reminder of 13 seconds ago. At least, so basically 2 per team, 1 per driver, 1 per car, whatever. Currently, they're at 4. And they're going to allegedly do 2 more with Ollie. So all these are obviously Ollie Behrman stepping in. Not to mention he has also done an actual full GP weekend. Actually 2, I guess, technically.
2, but 1 for this team.
So, in Imola, K-Mag stepped out for Ollie. In Spain, Hulkenberg. Silverstone was K-Mag again. And then Hungary was Hulkenberg again. So I would assume they split up the 2 again. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe let's tell K-Mag to, take a break. Hey, K-Mag, no penalties, so he's good. Did not go on a shitstorm. But yeah, so just a quick note of the rundown of who still has to sit out a session. And if you don't, I don't know if you remember Abu Dhabi last year where we had basically 10 rookies.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I hope they don't do that. Spread it out a little bit. Because it might actually come down to Abu Dhabi this year again. Flashbacks 2021, anybody? Mikey, no.
Neither one of the Williams drivers are to the degree that I think they would need to be for them to pull off a Nicholas Latifi. So you're gonna have to pull it from a different team.
Anyway, so in Red Bull, Max has to sit out one session. Both McLaren boys have to sit out. Lewis has to sit out. Both Ferrari boys have to sit out. Both Aston Martin boys have to sit out. And then Alex for Williams, Joe with Stake, and tentatively Daniel Ricciardo with V-Carb. That's your rookie F1 roundup.
Yippee.
So, in case you're ever curious, I just knocked my water bottle off. Sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was figuring, man, I feel like I haven't done it in a while. Like, I know they all have to do one.
Got like 6 races left.
Yep, we're getting there. We're about 4 weeks here. Like I said, it just seems weird. It's like, oh, here's the penultimate race. Now I get, last couple of weeks or last couple of seasons, it's like, well, Max won the season like 5 races ago, so it doesn't really matter. Nobody really likes Abu Dhabi that much anyway, so throw the rookies out, whatever.
Right.
Everybody knows the track.
I feel like the USGP usually gets quite a few because it's pretty much an amalgamation of a bunch of different tracks. So I think this is where you get quite a few of them. And then trying to think of what all we have left. It's US, Mexico, Brazil, Vegas, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, but the problem is with how many races we have left. We also have 3 sprint races, so only 1 FP session.
Oh,
so you got to remember that too.
Oh,
so that leaves out, in theory, COTA, Qatar, and Brazil. So that leaves Mexico, Vegas, Abu.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
that's not good.
Sprint races, folks. Here to stay, apparently.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about them still. We're still a few years into them, and you just need a good track for them. But it does screw up with the stuff in the middle, like the rookie having to swap in sort of thing. So, I don't know. Very weird. Last couple of notes I wanted to hit. The flag waiver for this race was popular actress, singer, and famed ASDF movie voice actress Kylie Minogue.
Really?
Yeah. Specifically, she is the hey, you have to pay for that.
Really?
Nope, spits out. Yeah. I was watching back through the ASDF movies for trying to find some reference that ended up not being there. And then in the compilation that I had at the very end, it had all of the voice actors for it. And so there's like, no shot. And sure enough, that was Kylie Minogue.
That's awesome. I did not know that. That's awesome. Like, especially ASDF is like, there's some cool big names in there, like PewDiePie and Markiplier. Like the internet celebs. Like, not that, internet celebrity and all that's a little different. But like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Good job, Tom Scott.
Yeah, there are definitely a few of them in there that were like beyond just regular, like, internet stars or whatever. But yeah, no, I distinctly remember that because I was looking at that surprised me. And then we get to the race and I think I was awake for that portion of it where they were going to do the checker flag. I was like, I literally just read about you like 2 days ago, 1 day ago. The world's weird, man. Yeah, and then in the cool down room, Oscar with his without using swear words, how do you feel about that moment? I love everyone fucking dunking on Mohammed bin Salayem.
Yeah, and then didn't he still say shit?
He
still swore.
Yeah,
because I remember so at this point I was already working on my stupid meme poster because I really don't give a shit. We were so exhausted. Like we literally slept this. So we were recording like super late than we normally do. It'll still probably come out around the same time. But because we were just fucking exhausted. Fucking college football's awful experience. Yeah, actually, it turns out. But yeah, I heard Crofty go, "Sorry for any language that you heard if you didn't want to hear it." I'm like, well, good.
Who cares?
Fuck off.
God, who are you letting your kid wake up at 6 a.m. to watch cars race around track. Or, Britland.
Yeah.
Which it's noon there, I guess.
Which I guess we should comment. I think I know what we're going to wrap on, but we should comment on, of course, earlier, said Mohammed bin Salim, how do you actually say it?
Yeah.
Questionable comment on saying we don't want our drivers to sound like rappers. Yeah, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That is so...
That's so fucking awful to say.
Like, that is the most... I would say, that's veiled racism, but it's not really veiled.
Yeah,
it's
really
pretty
not.
much just racism.
It's right out there.
It's just racism. So, yeah, that's, not cool. So, don't... Hey, Ben...
It's a dog whistle, but instead of the actual dog whistle, you just used a regular whistle.
Yeah. Oh, man. I guess wrapping up would be to say that, because he's listening, if it is Daniel's last race, we will miss you greatly. Regardless of however you performed, you were still a positive force in the paddock and in the fandom. I don't want to say fandom, because fandom has such a negative connotation to me anymore. In the sport, that I'm sure even if you're done racing, you will still be around. I guarantee you're probably going to be the most popular broadcaster on the planet.
Oh, absolutely. So, oh my god.
But
I would pay money to have an exclusive Daniel Ricciardo cast for every race.
Yeah, I think didn't he do that for the first half of 2 seasons ago or last season or whatever it was.
I'm not sure.
Or he was like, I think he was on, because we've talked about like, hey, ESPN. I wonder if ESPN's ever going to get their own feed and not use the Sky feed. So maybe that's what this is. Maybe Daniel comes over here if he doesn't race and becomes the ESPN gets their own exclusive feed for F1 and they carry all the races. I might actually watch it on ESPN then. Maybe they'll give us a USA feed where they use that. But
maybe so. But then how will he be a professional athlete? To sweat. Key. Hey. Fucking love Danny Rick so much.
I said it is going to be if so. Again, it's still a rumor. I don't give a shit until it's confirmed. Until I see that little F1 breaking PTSD graphic they'll give us.
The PTSD graphic. I love that.
Until I see a black and white Instagram video of him sitting down. But yeah, just in case. Yeah.
God, someone like last week or whatever edited in his face over Seb's in that post. I was like, stop.
Maybe him and Seb become the broadcast duo.
Oh my god, please. No, Seb's got to take over for Ben Salayem.
That's too much politics. Now he's going to be in the room. He's going to be a race director. He's not going to be.
But that election is this next year.
I didn't realize it was an election.
Yeah, it's an elected position. I think it's 4 years per, and maximum is 12 years.
Oh, good. Another election to follow.
Right? As the Americans, we're already like fucking knee deep in American politics, having to follow that election cycle. But now we've got the FIA president election cycle. Listen, you got your Saudi races. You're getting your Saudi money. Get him out of there, please.
Vote Seb.
What's up?
Follow the pod everywhere at DSQ Pod. And follow the crew at Medic50 and at GoaluCody30.